What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to No Filter Chelsea with your boy Jason. Result today: Fulham 2, Chelsea 1. Not the result that any Chelsea fan was looking for, especially after how we pulled out a point against Man City. Um, just overall, not good enough. Not good enough. And at this point, I'm no longer directing my frustrations at the players, the caretaker manager, Liam Rossignol. It does not matter. Enzo Maresca. It does not matter. There's a clear message that was sent out today from the traveling away fans, which is not too far of travels from Stamford Bridge to Craven Cottage, but there's a clear message by the fans today to Egbali that we need to talk about, and that's what majority of this review is going to be talked about is Blue Co need to get the fuck out of the club. They are destroying it inside and out, and we'll talk bits and pieces about the game, some good moments, but a lot more what the fuck type of moments rather than a decent performance. So if you like these kind of videos, you like soccer, sports, anything like that, drop a like, sub, bell notifications, ring those as well. Get engaged in the comment section, bro. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this performance today where we dropped three more points that put us seventh in the Premier League. Manchester United is now ahead of us in the league. Brentford are now ahead of us in the league. Liverpool are still ahead of us in the league with them playing Arsenal tomorrow. So, but with that being said, man, we are going to get into this review, and now it is time for Blue Co to get the fuck out. So, before we get into the major talking point in this game, we have a few things to go over in terms of the game itself. Mark Cucurella gets sent off for a clear yellow card, a denial of a goal scoring opportunity against Harry Wilson, was caught sleeping when Bernd Leno eventually got the ball from, I believe, a corner kick. He does a quick punt out towards Harry Wilson, running from inside of his own half, has the beating of Mark Cucurella and Chalaba or Tosin, one of the two center backs who I will get to in a second, gets caught napping on the punt. Harry Wilson beats him. Mark Cucurella's only option there is to grab his arm and pull him back. Obvious red card, a denial of a goal scoring opportunity will get sent off every single time. Does not matter what minute of the game it is. He deserved to be sent off for that challenge. And from that moment on, you get three yellow cards in the space of a minute, one to Enzo, one to Tosin, I believe, and one to Palmer, all for complaining about the red card, which was a clear red card. This is where the disciplinary issue that I have an issue with this team. Enzo Fernandez being the captain on the field at the time, a player that I rate very highly, one of my favorite players on the in the squad, right? You need to learn to when to just shut up, dude. Just walk away from the referee. You can ask, was it really a red card? Was it this or was it that? But when you're continuously showing dissent to the referee and you're getting in his face, you're touching him, you're trying to get answers from him, but the decision is not going to change. That's when you need to back up, get everyone back behind the ball and just set up to defend the free kick. Luckily, they didn't score off of that free kick. And for large parts of the game, we contained them for the most part. But once the second half came around, once they made certain substitution, bringing Kevin on, and him causing issues up and down the pitch, not just doing his work defensively, but also doing his work going up the pitch, creating problems for our fullbacks, getting balls into the box so Jimenez can actually get on the end of these crosses. Harry Wilson can make late runs into the box, right? It was stuff like that today that continuously put us under the caution. When you have 10 men on the pitch, you're going to be pressed back and you're going to be put you're going to be asked more questions because they have that spare man out wide. They have the spare man in the middle. And for large chunks of the game, particularly in the second half, we could not cope with their runs on the wings, down the flanks. And yes, we had 6 shots on goal, 14 shot attempts, but we scored one goal off of it. And the one goal came off of a corner kick, which Enzo played a lot of great corners today. The ball from Pedro Neto on the right hand side that came in for our goal today. That's what I'm looking for when it comes for my striker being instinctive in the box. Anything that falls to your feet, just put it towards the goal. You never know where it's going to land. And he finally got his first Premier League goal. But for Liam Delap today, decent hold up play, but he has to be stronger on the ball. And he has to link players in that are actually running towards him or running outside of him. Too many times today, Cole Palmer had a lot of frustration with no movement up front, no movement from a Liam Delap, no late runs into the box from an Enzo Fernandez, no back post runs from the other winger. It was Pedro Neto, right? And for some reason, he still played 90 minutes today. Yes, he has great work rate. Yes, but for a guy that can be direct and has the pace to get by somebody, I'm getting tired of the chopping inside, chopping outside, chopping inside, chopping outside. Liam Rossignol up in the stands today, 92nd minute, was questioning, why aren't you putting the ball in the box if you're down 2-1? Why are we continuously trying to beat our man 3 or 4 times? This is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. You have an Esteval in there that's more direct and is willing to create chaos. He would have put the ball in the box after he beats his man, because that's how he thinks, that's how he operates. He wants to create chaos, he wants to be direct, he wants to score. And Pedro Neto, too many times today, had opportunities to drive at the opposing fullbacks and get by him, but what does he do? Takes too many touches, doesn't put the ball in the box, doesn't get by his man, right? Palmer, like I said, I'd like to see him on the wing so he can cut in. He wasn't able to get involved as much today because the movement up front was pathetic. It was stagnant. There was nobody offering themselves to take a chance, take a risk. And that's why we were not able to really create as many opportunities in this game that we should have. Even with 10 men, we dominated for little parts of we dominated for 10 to 15 minutes when we had 10 men on the pitch. The problem that I'm going to continuously have with this team is discipline, recklessness, and being too emotional, right? Cucurella gets sent off. That's when the club captain or the captain on the pitch at the time needs to rally everybody and keep their head in the game. They're immediately going to the referee asking, "Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure?" Yes, it's a clear red card. Yes, he deserved to be sent off. Yes, Mark Cucurella, for the most part, had a decent 20 minutes when he was on the pitch, but when you're caught napping on the counterattack on a quick transition from goalkeeper to your center forward, we just had a moment like that against Newcastle 2, 3 weeks ago. Robert Sanchez immediately sees that João Pedro is locked in with one center back. What does he do? Immediately puts the ball up the pitch. João Pedro takes a great first touch, great second touch, good third touch, slots it into the goal. Harry Wilson could have scored had Mark Cucurella, and I would have been of the argument that you let him score that goal so we keep 11 players on the pitch. But, I'm not on the field. I'm not in his head. I don't know how he's thinking, but that was the wrong decision to make. Should Sanchez have came out and done something with that? No, because if Robert Sanchez, if he comes out, you don't know how he's going to react to the ball or Harry Wilson. So that's why the only option really was to let him score. Even if you're down 1-0, it's still early enough in the game to where you can bounce back, fight back, and actually come out of your shell and really start attacking Fulham, which we did for little pieces of the game, especially once we conceded, but it's still not good enough. For a club of this caliber, for the quality we have in the squad, there's no reason why we should be going to places like Fulham and continuously dropping points. But we did. Now we're seventh in the Premier League. At the time of this recording, we may have dropped even lower. Yeah, we're now eighth in the Premier League. It looks like Manchester United actually dropped points, which is great. So now we're a point behind them, but we're 2 points behind Brentford. We're now a point behind Newcastle. It looks like they pulled out a victory against Leeds. We're level on points with Fulham. We're a point above Sunderland, man, and we're 2 points above Everton. So now we are literally at this point of recording 3 points above 15th and 4 points above Spurs in 14th. And this is going to get into the second part of my video here, talking about Blue Co and Clearlake, Baghdad Iqbali. and everything else. I'm going to take a cut here, look over some things before I start recording the second part, but there's a lot that needs to be talked about when it comes to Blue Co, Baghdad Iqbali, and where the fuck this club is going. So now that we've dropped more points in the Premier League, and now that we're eighth in the league now, behind Man United, behind Newcastle, behind Brentford, not too far away from Tottenham in 14th place, which is fucking disgraceful, by the way. The away fans were the man of the match today, for us at least. They showed up and they showed out, and they got a message out to the board, Clearlake, and Blue Co that needs to be discussed. I'm going to try to play a clip here, see if you guys can actually hear it. The message is clear from the away fans and what they want. So let's go ahead and play that audio for you because I'm not going to be able to show it to you guys on screen. So so what we just heard was the away fans at Fulham chanting fuck off Clearlake, fuck off Iqbali, and we want our club back. I'm at the point as a fan here, and I'm speaking as a person that's played the sport, that has watched the sport my entire life, and have seen terrible ownerships across all the sports completely destroy franchises, clubs, and stuff like that, right? When is enough from the ownership? When are we going to start taking accountability for the mistakes that we have clearly made? Whether it's the chopping and changing of managers, whether it's the recruitment strategy that we have, bringing in young players that are never going to see the first team, or the pyramid scheme that this consortium is trying to produce out of this club and Strasbourg, right? When you have two different sets of fan bases in two different countries reiterating the same message, and to go so far as to when Blue Co is saying that that Strasbourg fans cannot bring banners into whether it's the away ground or whether it's the home ground, clearly wanting Blue Co out, clearly wanting certain figures of this consortium to be gone, right? When you start taking away the freedom of speech away from fans, that's when enough is enough. And when and when you take a manager away from a club that had one of their best ever seasons, and halfway through the season, the ownership could care less about disrupting their season in favor of the parent club, in which the parent club is already a dysfunctional, chaotic mess as it is. So you're going to go to another club with not as many resources, and then you go get a manager that the last time we saw him guided Wolves to one of their worst ever seasons in the Premier League. Yes, they're having a worse season right now, but Gary O'Neill is not the answer at Strasbourg. I would have been for keeping Rosinha there for the duration of the season, and then if you wanted to go grab him in the summer, I would have been okay with that, even if it would have meant you're sacking Maresca at the end of the season. You're still not going to convince me that a guy is going to come in here for 6 months and completely turn this shit around. There's no chance in hell of this happening right now. The performance today, the performance over the last month or so, one win in nine, our only win being against Everton at the Bridge, and even then, Everton didn't play as bad as the scoreline showed. Yeah, there's a lot of dysfunction up top, and seeing Rosinha sitting next to Begdad Igbali, Egbali must have been shitting his pants hearing everything that these Chelsea fans were saying today. And good on them. Keep getting that message out. Go to Charlton at the weekend. Do the same thing. The protest against Brentford on the 17th. show out in numbers. It should no longer be a peaceful protest. At this point, they are sabotaging this club. They are destroying the infrastructure and what was built at this club, and they are pushing the star players further and further and further away from obtaining anything. Anything. And it's getting to the point mentally as a fan where I'm getting tired of getting up, doing these reviews, doing these previews, watching these games, and deteriorating my mental health because they have an agenda at hand when they don't care about the fans, they don't care about the players, and they don't care about winning anything. All they care about is making money for themselves. This is where people need to start appreciating Todd Bowley a hell of a lot more. Internet fans that are on there saying Bowley also needs to be pushed out. What has Todd Bowley done since he has gone here? Yes, he had the acting sporting director role, but the ambition he showed and the players that he was trying to bring in, he was trying to show us that he wants to win now. Our greatest moment under Blue Co, Clearlake, is winning that Club World Cup. And we saw the embrace that Todd Bowley had with Enzo Fernandez. The guy fought tooth and nail to get him into this club, right? Baghdad Iqbali is not here to win. He is not here to put tickets, to put seats, to put butts in these seats. He is here to make money, and that is it. He is not here for anything else but that. He does not care about us. He does not care about people like me. He does not care about the bigger Chelsea YouTube personalities. He does not care about that. He doesn't care about the supporters' trust. He does not care about anybody that is below him, including the sporting director, because they're puppets at the end of the day. They're not there to do a job. They're there to listen to what Iqbali wants. And us as fans in the community, online, match going fans, or even if you're a football fan, should not be seeing a club of this size get torn apart like this. Put the rivalries aside, put the bias aside. The Premier League is a lot better when Chelsea is actually competing at the top level. It's a fucking disgrace what is going on right now. And until they sell and until they actually see what they are doing, we are going to continue to be in this situation where it doesn't matter how many chants we have, how many banners we show, or how disgruntled we are as a fan base. Something major has to happen for this ownership to actually sell. Todd Bowley has the funds and the resources to buy out everybody, but Egbali doesn't want to sell his stake. Feliciano doesn't want to sell his stake. I'm for bringing Todd Bowley back into the club and being the guy that's really calling all the shots. Doesn't matter if he's paying players 200,000 a week, 250 a week. If Todd Bowley is in charge, he's probably bringing in players like, excuse me, like a Vinicius Jr., like a Rodrigo, right? Like a Victor Osimhen, right? Because he probably would have been willing to pay the 300 grand a week because he knows the quality of a Victor Osimhen, right? He knows the quality of any of these other elite strikers, Alexander Isak before he moved to Liverpool, right? But now he's having a weird season where he's injured and he never got it going, right? Blue Co needs to get out. Blue Co needs to leave. It's getting to the point now where players are going to get frustrated. Players are not going to want to rework their contracts, and players are going to want to leave. And the last thing we need is key players like Palmer start to turn their head, like Caicedo to start turning their head, like Enzo to start turning their head, like Esteval when he starts to really get acclimated more and more and more into this squad for him to start turning his head to a Madrid or to a Barcelona, right? We can't allow that. But the way that this ownership is moving, the players I just mentioned probably won't be here in 2 seasons because they're going to look to make a profit out of them rather than actually building a title winning competitive team around them. So Blue Co, disrespectfully, get the fuck out of my club, get the fuck out of London, and please, oh please, get the fuck out of France too. Leave the Strasbourg fans out of this shit, man. They deserve better than this. Chelsea fans like myself deserve better than this for watching this club for over 20 years, being a passionate fan like me. I'm getting tired of it, man. We don't need to be in eighth position in the Premier League and fighting to be in the Champions League. We should be in the top four race. We should be in the title race with the players we have. And it's getting ridiculous that there's no accountability being taken up top, and manager after manager after manager have to continue to suffer and continue to say the same thing about one specific person in the club. And that one specific person needs to put his fucking ego to the side and take some accountability. This is why Todd Bowley took a step back, because he even realized Egbali may be the actual issue and why this club isn't going to go forward. Chelsea Football Club should be competing at the highest level, whether it's the Premier League, the Champions League, and consistently fighting for those two domestic cups. But the problem is ownership. The problem is no accountability. And the one other issue is the chopping and changing of these managers that cannot get an identity, that can't implement their tactics, because when you're getting interference from your bosses up top and they have suggestions on which players should be playing because they're trying to maintain market value and resell them, that's already a red flag. Please get out of this club, man. Us Chelsea fans do not deserve that. So with that being said, man, I'm gonna get out of here. Hopefully my audio did record this time. Chelsea lose 2-1 at Craven Cottage. Match going fans, Chelsea fans, all you guys watching, keep getting your voice out there. Keep going to these games and get your frustrations out. Let Egbali know what's really going on, because at some point that man will crack. He's human at the end of the day, and everyone has their breaking point. Continue to push the message. Fuck off Egbali, fuck off Clearlake, fuck off Blue Co, and leave this prestigious club alone. We deserve better than this. We absolutely do. It's time for you to pack it up, go back to the fucking states like where I live, and run an American franchise. Don't run a football club if you don't know what you're doing. There's a difference between an American franchise and European football. Go back to America and run the franchises. Don't run a football club because you have no idea what the fuck you're doing. But with that being said, I'm Jason. It's No Filter Chels. Like, comment, sub. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this game. Baghdad Iqbali, Blue Co, Clear Lake, all that stuff. Cards to my other videos should have been popping up throughout the video. With that being said, I'm Jason. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate you guys. Peace and love. I'm out of here. Coolio.